Welcome to the Film Vault, where we uncover the hidden gems, cult classics, and mind-bending stories that deserve a deeper look. Today, we're diving into an episode from Dimension 404, an ambitious sci-fi anthology series that blends technology, horror, and dark humor into unique, self-contained stories. The episode we're covering today is Impulse, a gripping, high concept sci fi thriller that explores the dangers of unchecked scientific ambition, the psychological toll of war, and the consequences of pushing the human body beyond its natural limits. Buckle up, because this is going to be a high speed breakdown. Understanding Dimension 404. Before we get into Impulse, let's talk a little about Dimension 404. The series, produced by Rocket Jump in collaboration with Hulu, takes inspiration from classic sci-fi anthologies like The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, and Black Mirror. However, Dimension 404 injects its own brand of surreal, often satirical storytelling that plays with internet culture, technology, and our ever-changing relationship with science fiction. Each episode is a self-contained narrative, featuring different characters, settings, and tones, ranging from humorous and absurd to eerie and thought-provoking. The name Dimension 404 itself is a clever nod to the infamous 404 error, message found on the internet, implying that these are stories from a reality that exists just beyond the realm of what we can understand. And that brings us to today's topic, Impulse, one of the most intense and thematically rich episodes in the series. Plot overview of Impulse. Impulse follows Valerie Val Hernandez, played by Lorenza Izzo, a decorated but deeply traumatized military operative. She's an elite soldier who has endured countless battles, carrying both physical scars and psychological wounds from years of service. When Val is offered the chance to participate in an experimental government program, she sees it as an opportunity for redemption, a way to become the ultimate soldier and put her pain to use. The experiment introduces a groundbreaking technology that grants her superhuman speed and reflexes, allowing her to move faster than any human on the planet. At first, it seems like a gift. She becomes an unstoppable force in combat, eliminating threats before they even realize what's happening. However, as with all great sci-fi cautionary tales, there's a dark side to this power. The faster she moves, the more disconnected she becomes from reality. Time itself seems to slow down around her, and soon her perception of the world starts to feel agonizingly sluggish. Conversations drag on for what feels like hours. Simple movements take what seems like an eternity. And worst of all, she starts to feel completely alone. This is where Impulse transforms from a mere action-packed thriller into a deeply unsettling psychological horror. The psychological toll of superhuman speed. One of the most fascinating aspects of Impulse is how it explores the consequences of extreme speed. Unlike traditional superhero stories where speedsters like the Flash or Quicksilver revel in their abilities, Impulse takes a more realistic and horrifying approach. Imagine experiencing time so much faster than everyone else that human interaction becomes unbearable. Simple moments of connection, eye contact, a handshake, even a conversation, feel like they're happening in slow motion, making meaningful relationships almost impossible. As Val continues to use her ability, she realizes that she's losing touch with reality. Her brain is processing everything at a hyper-accelerated rate, making her unable to relate to the world around her. What started as a military advantage quickly becomes a curse. She begins to hallucinate, losing her grip on what's real. She sees people speaking to her in distorted, glacially slow voices, and even the simple act of waiting for a response from someone becomes unbearable. She's not just fast, she's out of sync with the rest of existence. The military's role, a tool, not a person. Val's transformation wasn't an accident. It was the result of a calculated experiment conducted by the US military, which sees soldiers like her not as people, but as weapons. Her commanding officers push her harder, demanding she complete more high-risk missions with no regard for the consequences to her mind or body. Every time she expresses concern about her deteriorating mental state, she's met with indifference or vague reassurances. As long as she gets the job done, her suffering is irrelevant. This is where Impulse makes a powerful statement about the dehumanization of soldiers. Val represents countless real-life military veterans who are trained for war but abandoned when they struggle to reintegrate into normal life. She's a tool of the government, and once she becomes too broken to function, she'll be discarded. But Val isn't willing to let that happen. The moment of rebellion. As her condition worsens, Val is assigned one final mission: eliminate a rogue scientist, one of the key minds behind the experiment. But upon finding her target, she discovers a horrifying truth. She's not the first test subject. The government has been conducting these experiments for far longer than she was led to believe, creating and discarding countless soldiers who couldn't handle the transformation. Many of them suffered severe mental breakdowns, losing their grip on reality entirely. Some were even terminated once they became liabilities. This revelation is Val's breaking point. Rather than completing the mission, she turns against her handlers. In a jaw-dropping action sequence, she single-handedly destroys the research facility, taking out dozens of soldiers in a flurry of superhuman speed and precision. The once loyal soldier becomes a rogue agent, determined to put an end to the program that ruined her life. But even in victory, she knows she has lost something she can never regain: her humanity. The tragic ending, lost in time. The episode closes on a hauntingly bittersweet note. Val, now fully aware that she can never return to a normal life, vanishes into the unknown. She's too fast for the world, too disconnected from time itself to live among ordinary people. We last see her running, moving faster than anyone can see, forever trapped in the space between moments. Her final fate is left ambiguous. Did she find a way to control her abilities? Did she disappear into an existence where time no longer matters? Or is she doomed to wander the earth, unable to ever truly belong anywhere again? One thing is certain: Val Hernandez is no longer just a soldier. She is a phantom of time, a being who exists outside the limits of human perception. Themes and symbolism in Impulse. Impulse is more than just a high-speed action story. It's a philosophical exploration of the dehumanization of soldiers, how military organizations often see their soldiers as tools rather than people, the cost of power, how extreme abilities can alienate rather than empower, the nature of time and perception. What happens when someone experiences the world on a completely different timescale than everyone else? Isolation and PTSD. How war leaves emotional scars that can make reintegration into society nearly impossible. Final thoughts. Dimension 404. Impulse is one of the most thought-provoking episodes in the series, delivering thrilling action, emotional depth, and a chilling exploration of what it means to be human. With stunning visuals, a gripping performance from Lorenza Izzo, and a powerful message about the cost of scientific ambition, Impulse is a must-watch for anyone who loves sci-fi that makes you think. This has been another deep dive into the fascinating world of film and television. This is the Film Vault, where every frame tells a story. Stay tuned for more breakdowns of the movies and shows that challenge the way we see the world.